I finally got around to reading Berserk Volume 3, the Deluxe Edition, the one that goes through more of the Golden Age arc. We reach the point where the war against Tudor ends. We get some more character development. Guts and Casca become closer. More battles happenstance, and Griffith makes his terrible mistake. And I have to say, this has to be my favorite volume yet. Like, I have to say, this is probably the volume that's made me a true Berserk fan, because I think this is the point where I think a lot of the character aspects and the themes really start coming together. And I got really emotional about some aspects of this, which really surprised me considering the first two volumes. It does feel like the story is progressing. The author is finding his ground and really discovering what he wants to do here, and it's really, really fantastic seeing all this play out, seeing like these characters develop. I think it does help that there are more characters at this point than just Guts, right? Like we've reached the point where there are other established characters with their own established backstories, personality, goals, like abilities, dreams, which is a very fates. That's a very important theme in Berserk. Fates, characters that have very different destinations and ideas and directions. I find myself just very, very engaged with the way things are going, and very, very invested in Griffith's plot line and how that relates to the overall themes of what's going on and how that relates to everything. Because there's very interesting aspects to this and what's going on and how this is all playing out. It does feel like this volume does cover quite a lot, because of course the last volume left off at Guts and Casca falling off that cliff. So it starts off with them doing the 100-man fight thing, and then they end the 100-year war, and then Griffith sort of makes that mistake. Can I even show that panel on stream where he fucks, where he has sex with Charlotte? There's definitely a lot here to unpack. Oof. I was just like, no, Griffith, what are you doing? It's so, it really does do a lot to get the emotions out of you. There's just so much to talk about. And I finished it a couple of days ago, so it's kind of dry on me. And it took me a while to get through this. It's not fresh, I should say. I feel as if, oof. I could have been more specific if I had talked about it, read it all in one go, like I should have, and then made a video like I should have. There's just so much here to talk about. I could talk about I think the main thing that sticks out to me is the stuff that people don't necessarily talk about, because I think a lot of the stuff that people hype up about Berserk, about Griffith doing nothing wrong, I find that to be complete bullshit. I already will tell you, this early in the story, that yes, Griffith does a whole lot wrong. For example, raping Charlotte. I don't know what's with this. I don't know what's with people denying that this is rape, but when she says no, that is rape. When you're taken into the dungeon afterward and beat within an inch of her life by her dad, that's rape. And yeah, you can argue that yeah, her dad is a creepy fuck. Yeah, you can argue that which is actually a way more interesting topic to me. I'm getting off track here, but I do feel personally that Griffith did rape Charlotte. Now you can argue that well, she enjoyed it. She enjoyed it more than her dad sexually assaulting her. But I personally maintain that it was indeed rape, because she did say no. So it was rape. So this leads me to my next point about Berserk is The dad, and I think that's kind of the thing that kind of sticks out to me the most, just going into it, because a lot of this is stuff that was covered in the movies, better than in the movies, I think. I did feel way more attached to Casca than I did while watching the movies. In fact, I think I made fun of Casca when I watched the movies. Like, the movies make her look like to be a complete bitch, make her look out to be completely useless, and can't do the shit that, like, Griffith and Guts can do, like, easily. And that's still kind of true, but, like, it's better handled in the manga. Like, she has more accomplishments in the manga. Like, you get the impression people actually respect her. Like, she has more development, essentially. It makes sense more in the manga. And it doesn't help, it doesn't hurt that she's cute as fuck in the manga either, so... you really get the impression, you really get to understand, like, why Guts likes her in the manga. In the movies, I don't think that came across very well. I think they just eventually had sex because, oh, Griffith's in prison, I better settle for you. But in this one, it feels like they actually have a connection. Even if Casca still has feelings for Griffith, it's kind of a very, very interesting in that front. Was I talking about the shit? Did I get off track? Did I talk about the dad? Yeah. They talk about their dreams. Yeah. I think the war against Midland is probably the defining. The war against Tudor, I should say. By the way, was that named after Tudor, the Tudor family, like the Tudor dynasty of English royal family fame? I've been reading up on the history of them, and that kind of stuck out to me while reading this. The thing that got me interested in this, the thing that really stuck out to me, I was talking about the dad. I keep skipping around a lot, but there's a lot to unpack here. One of the things that really stuck out to me in this was just how Griffith and the King of Midland sort of like reflect one another. And I think that's a theme that a lot of people don't really talk about. It's something that I sort of picked up on while reading this. I've never heard anyone bring this up before, but like I found this really, really interesting. Like when we finally learn the king's true nature, when he talks about like what Griffith did to him, like of course he defiled Charlotte, and of course you can argue, blah, blah, blah. Let me see here. Oh, by the way, this panel is just gorgeous. Hang on. There's some really gorgeous really gorgeous pictures here. I love the artwork in this. Especially these full page spreads. Those are always like just the coolest thing ever. Let me see. Yeah, Guts fighting Griffith. It's so oof. What did Griffith think was gonna happen? Holy shit. Should I talk about that since I'm on this point? Yeah. Guts leaving. Yeah, Guts does leave in this volume. This is where like he fights Griffith and like wanders off to find his own path, and then he's back again in like a couple of panels, a couple of chapters, and I'm just like, what is the point of that? Like, really? Like, he leaves and then comes back? It really does feel like he only did that to move the plot along. It's just like, wow. He didn't accomplish anything while he was gone. Like, he just fought some people and then came right back when he learned the Band of the Hawk was in trouble. Like, it feels more like that aspect was more to advance the character of Griffith than to advance Guts' character. Like, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me why he would do that and then come right back. It's just like he didn't accomplish anything. I don't feel like he actually found his like purpose, so to speak. It's just like, why leave to begin with? Like, if all you want to do is fight all the time, like fight for the Band of the Hawk, it's just fight for Midland, do something else. Like, it's just like, think about it more. I just clearly you're doing something right because you like the Band of the Hawk. Like, why are you spurging out about this? But anyway, the thing about this is, I do feel like Griffith is a much more fleshed out than character than Guts at this point. I do feel that way. I do feel like this was mostly to advance Griffith's character and like lead into this segment, the next arc of his story, so to speak, in the next volume. Guts is the only person Griffith ever really cared about. I think that's very clear simply by the way he like freaks out when Guts leaves. How he spurgs at the idea of like Guts going like anywhere other than by his side. Like you really do get the impression that Griffith really sees himself in Guts, sees something in Guts that he doesn't really see in anyone else. And I do think that's mostly because Guts doesn't really blindly follow Griffith. That's the thing I've noticed. And I think that's one of the themes here, actually, is that like Guts is more than willing to sort of like go his own way, as opposed to everyone else who sort of like believes that following Griffith is going to lead them to like a great and glorious life. Like he is going to lead them to a better life. Like Guts himself sticks out from the rest because like he doesn't seem to feel that way. He seems to think that like what he needs is to find his own path, and that like, he won't find it by blindly following Griffith. So he's sort of like but again, this is what the author is trying to do here, but like personally I feel like, well, damn, what was I gonna get at? They could have more clear. What was I gonna say? I had it. I completely dropped it. There's just so much to talk about. Maybe I'll talk about this at a later date. But like I feel like this is one of those things that they should have done better. It's something that I think it's a bit too much open to interpretation. I think like there's no real reason for Griffith to like go out and do what he does. It just sort of comes out really shallow. Like he really does want to go out. He tries to bang Charlotte in order to like fill that gap in his heart that Guts leaving left. And it's just like, well, why Charlotte? Why not Casca? Why not some random bitch? Like why go for Charlotte? Like other than like reaffirm your heterosexuality, because a lot of people think it's like Guts and Griffith are in love with each other or something like that, when I don't really see it that way at all. In fact, like Griffith wouldn't go full on like, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you try to leave. Like if I have to, I'd rather you die than leave. That's not like something you would do if you were in love with someone and wanted to be with them or whatever. Like Griffith, it was just possessive of someone that like he saw as a possession. Like, sort of, like, he doesn't really value Guts. He doesn't value the rest of the Band of the Hawk as friends. But he does with Guts, and Guts sort of but he expresses it in a really bizarre, sort of twisted way, even at this stage. That's my take on it. Man, I really need to iron this out. I have, like, clear thoughts on this, but, like, I might have to script this, because I have no idea. Oof. Yep. Yeah. I'm not sure if I can. I'm not sure if I can technically show images of Griffith banging Charlotte, but yeah, she does say no. I can confirm that she does say no. Oh wait, shit. Is that the right? Can you? There we go. No. See that? No. She says no. But anyway, yeah, Griffith guilt trips her into sleeping with him, and it's not. Is that like the justification people have for it? It's not rape if she enjoyed it. It's just no, it's totally rape. Oof. So yeah, definitely the thing that really stuck out to me is just how Griffith and the King sort of differ. Like I said, they sort of mirror each other. This is something I've never heard anyone bring up before. Of course, I've never really. Of course, I'm still reading Berserk, and I haven't like looked at all the speculation and like all these analyses, all the analyses of the themes of Berserk. But this is something that really stuck out to me. Is just it's interesting to see how the king and Griffith's values sort of differ here. Let me see here. What value is there in this world? Okay, so yeah, this little exposition here. My foolish daughter. It's as if she doesn't understand what it means to be of her status, the importance of the succession of royal blood. The princess of a kingdom behaves with the rashness of some townsgirl. Her frivolity is excessive. But even so, even that foolish, frivolous girl, Whipcrap, is everything to me. I would give myself, even this kingdom, in exchange for her. She's my whole life. What value is there in this world? Wars rage on, and the people's lives are lost like they were insects. After how many decades of war, and how many tens of thousands of corpses, we finally built a time-remembered peace, but it's only for an instant. On the underside, the monster named war is always seeking new blood, starting to brew itself anew. In the face of that monster, the will of one land's king is powerless. The wisdom of one man is folly, and yet I cannot cease being king. There's no way I can stop. Now, that really, really stuck out to me, like reading this, while I was reading this, considering the context of it and how he's attacking Griffith, who, of course, desires to be king himself. The king himself is stating that he does not want to be king. It's not something he wanted. It was something that was thrust upon him. He hates the war. He values his daughter because he wants to sexually assault her, but he doesn't care about being king. He doesn't care for it. He doesn't like the responsibility. He doesn't value it because it's something he's always had. It's something he was born into. It's not something he had to work for. It's just who he is, and he can't escape that for better or worse. And the only thing he really values is his daughter, which is kind of interesting because she's the one thing he doesn't seem to have. Because now that she's not a virgin, he can't rape her himself, which is seemingly what he wants. And just, oof. You've taken the one flower that gives me that warmth and plucked it. Unforgivable. That flower, of course, being her virginity, because this is a medieval story, and of course that's a big deal. Alas, my poor Charlotte. I've raised her for 17 years. She's known no impurity. Now that she's given herself up to the sport of a cometer, I'd rather, and then Griffith calls him out on it. That'd have been you. It seems kind of out of context of it. Again, this is the kind of storytelling where I think it works really, really well. It seems kind of out of nowhere, in fact, that Griffith would accuse him of that. But it's confirmed later on. It really shows you that Griffith sees right through him, that he sort of understands what he's like. Griffith seems to have this sort of a perception, this perception of other people that he can sort of see right through them. And I think that's one of the reasons he cares about Guts so much, is that he can see right through him and sort of understand him on a level that no one else does, and as a result sort of understands that he's different than other people. He's not Guts is very because he doesn't have a dream, is sort of very damn, how do I put this into words, man? Again, a lot of this comes from the fact that this is still an incomplete story. I have no idea where this is going. Past the whole eclipse, I have no idea. So yeah, I guess I shouldn't be speculating until I get to Volume 4, which I think is coming out in March. So yeah, Doing, yes, you do see a lot of Charlotte's titties in this, and you do see her father molesting her, and it's just like, poor Charlotte. Damn, you feel so bad for her. Like when she like calls out for Griffith, like you can, even though he raped her, you can see why. It's it's better than being raped by her dad. As I said, Lord Griffith. Oh. Definitely interested in seeing what happens to Charlotte going forward. Definitely, probably my favorite character so far, to be completely honest with you. Like, she's really charmed me. With how sincere she is, with like her affections for Griffith, and just everything that happens to her. Definitely a lot more interesting than I would have thought. I just have a thing for that kind of character, I suppose. And of course, like, Guts and Casca have sex too, and that's nowhere near as interesting. It's just, I remember liking that scene in movies, but I don't think I really cared for it too much here. Again, maybe Volume 4 will sort of like, that's near the end, so maybe that'll sort of like give it better context. Like, Yeah, Guts talks about his feelings. They talk about their feelings a lot in the end, and I'm just like, wow, Guts, are you serious? And it just sort of ends. Oh, and you get this really, You get some of the pictures later on. The cover pictures. Yeah. Have I really been talking for 20 minutes? Holy shit. This wasn't so much a review. I feel like I didn't talk about everything that really made it shine. Like, I could have talked about, like, the conspiracy. I could have talked about, like, Griffith murdering motherfuckers. Like, I could have talked about, like, how he fucked over Minister Foss and the Queen and just everything that happened. The Battle of Tudor. I think I talked about that in the movies, because I think that was one of those scenes that the movies did better. Maybe not better. Let me see if I can find the panel where, like, how he fucks over. Yeah. I would say the manga does it better. Where how Griffith fucks over the general guy. Like, it sort of sets this up. It sort of sets up, like, Griffith having an affair with this guy, and then coming back, and then the guy lets his boner controls his actions and sort of goes out onto the battlefield to try and, like, get Griffith to surrender so he won't get hurt. And then Griffith kills him, and, like, it's badass as fuck. I don't think I've ever seen anyone use being raped as, like, a practical military strategy, and yet Griffith does it and makes it look badass as fuck. And that is just really, really cool. Really, really interesting, too. And maybe, again, I'm interested in seeing just how things go on from here. Like, things do come back later. Like, Nosferatu Zod was sort of in this. Like, he throws Guts a sword for some reason. That was, like, the big iffy thing for me in this volume, is that, like, Guts only won a fight because Zod took pity on him and threw him a sword. It's just like, why? Why would he do that? It's just like, it was just kind of a cop-out to this really, really shitty situation. Like, Guts really shouldn't have had his sword break to begin with, and yet Zod comes out of nowhere, throws him a sword, and it's just like, okay, whatever. That's kind of cheap and lazy, in my opinion. I didn't care for that at all. But other than that, it's really good. The artwork is spectacular. Is that really good one of Griffith? Oh, wow. Oof. Oh, so he does talk about being raped in this one. Oh, wow. I thought that was last volume, but no, they just talk about it in this one. Okay. Damn, it took me a while to get through this. No wonder I'm not talking about the beginning very much. But, oof. Let me see here. I swear that was in this volume. The one with the... There was one panel in particular that really caught my eye. Damn, where did it go? I want to show you my favorite one. Assuming it was here in this volume. It might have been in another one. Let me see here. I probably should have picked this out. I mean, there's lots of good pictures in this, so I could probably show you this all day. Sexually explicit images aside. Oof. Yeah, I think it is later on. Hang on. I think it is in this one because it doesn't make any sense for it not to be. Yeah, I think it's after they win. Hang on. Shit, where the fuck? Ballroom scene. I swear it was here somewhere. I might have skipped past it by accident. Close enough. It's the same sort of expression. Yep, Griffith's face. That's a good place to. I love his facial expressions. They're great. They're like the best thing about this. Am I sure it's not here? Ugh. Yeah, I guess that's enough. I have no idea where it is. I don't even remember where it is. They were talking about Griffith in his dream. It's the one where like his hair is on fire. If you know what I'm talking about. Like, I think it's in here, but I have no idea where it is. Ugh. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so that's Berserk Volume 3. I am officially a Berserk fan, I think. I am just so hyped for Volume 4. And, man, oof, I'm going to be so angry when I reach the point where, like, there are no more volumes to get. I have no idea when they're going to stop making these things. They're going to have to stop eventually, right? Like, unless they finish it before they start publishing these. Like, how many chapters are there? Like, 360 something. There can't be that many more volumes, right? Because what chapter am I on? Let me see here. Berserk. Contents. Volume 7, Volume 8, Volume 9. So yeah, I have no idea how much longer it goes on. I think the Golden Age is going to end in Volume 4, or at least get there. I don't know what else is going on. But, okay, I'm just really interested in seeing where the story develops from here. Because that's the main thing. My main complaint at this point is that, like, well, this is stuff I already know by watching the movies and knowing about the anime. Like, this is all stuff I've seen before. I'm not at the point yet where, like, the manga goes past that. So I'm really interested in what I think of the manga once I reach that point. Like, at this point, I'm, like, reading this and, like, comparing it to, like, the movies and, like, what I've seen of the anime and stuff like that. I really, really want to reach the point where, like, I am truly talking about the manga. I am very, very excited for that to happen, so I can share my thoughts with you guys. Until then, thank you very much.